Hello, everyone. Greetings and welcome. Whether it's morning, noon, or night, when you're tuning in, hey to my Soul Tribe family, friends, my two subscribers. I'm just back to share some information with you about my journey here on planet Earth. Again, I'm just going to start from the beginning and bring it to where I'm at in my current time, okay? Started out as a little girl with two parents, loving parents, taught me all that they knew, raised me to be a good person, a loving and kind person. Um, Throughout that time, I did end up in church, Baptist church, as a young kid. Dad always took us, dropped us, picked us off after Sunday school, picked us up after Sunday school, and so I had some, I had some religion in my life as a little kid growing up, and from there, you know, we grow up, we become young adults, we have families, we have friends, and we go through life, on our journey, doing what we have to do to have what society said we need to have in our life, family, husband, wife, children, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I did get married. I have been married for almost 40 years, four beautiful kids, and nine grandkids. And so from church, I grew up and wanted to be a pastor, teacher myself, counselor to others, to be a help to mankind. And so from growing up, I went to school, Ministry Training Center for 2 full years, ended up with a certificate for a diploma, with a diploma and certificate for fivefold ministry. Taught in the jail for about 5 years with the ladies as a volunteer, and enjoyed that because with that I learned that what was in me was coming out of me as they needed it because it was already there. I had taken the time to study, to write, and revise, to show myself approved. So as they was growing and learning, I was growing and learning. The sheriffs that was there on duties, they was tuning in, they was listening, they was growing and learning. So I'm really grateful for that time in my life. I started with as a Baptist and then ended up becoming a Christian. Studied with all the greats, Joyce Meyer, Joyce and Dave Myers, Kenneth and Gloria Copeland, Dr. Fred and Betty Price, Dee Dee and Mike Freeman. I mean, all the greats out there, Jesse Duplantis, Jerry Savelle, you name it, I was under those guys. First level teaching is what I call it because they only gave you what you needed was the foundation to get started. Many religions are just that. They're the foundations for our lives to have a basis for us to grow on and to go. The commandments, how to pray, how to fast, pray for your enemies, treat your neighbor as yourself. So a lot of this basic stuff, it never really got to the tapping into the real me, which is the second level of teaching, which I soon discovered after leaving the brick and mortar back in the early 2000s, around 2006, 2007. I left that congregational type setting with their teachers and doctrines because I wasn't getting anywhere. Of course, that upset my whole family because back then, I'm considered the black sheep of the family, and I'm steady learning and growing. Even though I left the brick and mortar, I still continue to study to show myself approved because without continuing to study, you're not going to know anything. You're not going to learn. There's no test. There's no testimony. So at the end of the day, I've been through a lot. I've changed a lot. My belief system has totally changed once I got my new set of teachers because they taught me how to go within, to tap into the inner me, tap into my superpowers because I'm not this body, my emotions, or my thoughts. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And so they taught me how to tap in by quieting my mind and going within, meditating. And yes, of course, at this time, my family was truly upset because they're like, okay, because of you is why we're in church, because of you. I was like, yeah, but I help you lay the foundation, as I've said before in another video. But it's now time for you to grow your own house, build your house on, solid ground with learning, continue to study to grow. A lot of people feel like because they're in a religion or set doctrines or teachings, whether it's Catholic or being Islam or Jehovah Witnesses or Christian or Baptist, Presbyterian, it doesn't really matter what your title is or your doctrine is. The whole thing at the end of the day, You are not that. You're not your body, your emotion, or your thoughts. You are not that doctrine or that teaching. You are a multi-dimensional being having this human experience. So this is what my second set of teachers taught me. If you look at the I Continue to Turn movie where it says what love have to do with it, you would see that she actually tapped into her inner self, and at the end of the day, she was kicking that ass. He wasn't kicking hers no more. She showed him where her true power was, but she had to go within herself to get to those true powers. And that's what every Christian, every religion has to do, every individual have to do. They have to take the time to quiet their mind and then go within. Um, I have been through a lot, like I said. I recently just got into my own apartment again. I was homeless for like the last year, sleeping in my car, sleeping on couches, and in the shelter. But all those things taught me to let go of attachments, that I couldn't be afraid anymore. I had to have faith in myself, and I had to step out in courage every day, and pull my shoulders back, held my head high, and put a smile on my face, and live life to the best that I could do. And I did that. So what I learned with being homeless that is that it helped me to have more compassion to make a difference with those that are going through similar situations. It helped me to see those that were just was in the system, getting what they could out of the system. But at the end of the day, it showed me to have compassion to make a difference, along with letting go attachments, not holding on to personal items and relationships and stuff like that, because I had to assume that all that go in order to have faith in myself and the courage to continue to move forward, because it was a little discouraging to see the Christians that I know that knew about my situation treated like it wasn't even a situation. They treated it more like it was an embarrassment to them or a shame. So, I've been going through it by myself for a minute, but I want to say this to those that are experiencing that. Hang in there. You're okay. You're going to be fine. You're more than enough. You are worthy. You are worthy. No test, no testimony. Okay? You can pass this test without having to go around the mountains over and over again like I did. I believe that I passed most of the tests because I stayed honest to myself. I stayed true to myself. But the most important thing that I learned through this whole thing was I was still able to have compassion for others to make a difference through all that I was going through. It didn't stop me from having a good heart. It didn't stop me from sharing a good word. It didn't stop me from tapping into whatever resources I had to help another person. It didn't help. It didn't cause me to not have compassion for another person. It actually helped me to be a better me. So I'm grateful. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade any of it, because again, today I am free. I'm loving me. I'm loving others. Life is good. I have no attachments to anything, because I know that everything is subject to change. Nothing stays the same at the end of the day. Everything is subject to change. But if you don't want to make that change, and you want to stay stuck in your teachings, your doctrines, or your religious background and what you've been told, you can do that also. But for me, getting out that box, and I'm grateful that I did get myself out of that brick and mortar type setting, because it allowed me to find out who Lily was and how Lily could be a better person and how Lily can help mankind now today. Even though I've experienced that, I'm not bitter, I'm not upset, I'm not revengeful. I'm just a happy go lucky person. If I see you, I can help you. I will. I love myself, I love others. And I'm just so grateful to be here at this time of the awakening process with Mother Earth Gaia, Sophia, Sophia, which I call her that because there's such beauty, such wonder out there. And I look around, I just be going, ooh, ah, and tapping into nature itself and the birds and getting out and hugging the tree and walking in the grass, becoming one with all, because there's only oneness. And that's what everything is coming down to. There's only oneness. And so I'm glad that I did separate from all of that, because I look back and see that they're, preaching separation. They're not preaching oneness. They're not teaching you how to tap into your gifts and your talents. And we all have gifts and talents. Jesus has said that, we all have the gift of healing in our hands, touching the palm of your hands like that. We all have healing in our hands. We all have the power to do what we got to do without getting any implants or artificial limbs and whatnot, because the body is beautifully and wonderfully made and it can heal itself, you know. So for me, I just kept everything simple, you know, and it got my laugh on, got my joy on. I stayed away from and continue to stay away from negativity. I don't do drama and violence because that stuff I realized was weighing my spirit. I could feel my shoulders going down. But no sooner I stopped doing that, my shoulders come back up within a few days after I release all of that negativity and drama. And I also learned some spiritual energy techniques that could help me also by cleaning my aura, by cleaning my chakras. You know, I learned how to help heal another person by coming from a loving space in my heart and applying that love to people and giving it out freely because I have freely received it. So at the end of the day, I'm so grateful for my journey. I'm so grateful that I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm not stuck in a religion telling me that God is punishing me or that I have missed it and only things waiting is hell on the other side. No, that's not my truth. That's not the God I serve. The God I serve is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipowerful. He's all knowing. He's a now God. He's touched by all that touches us because He dwells within us. We are actually have living this experience, and He's also with us, co-creating with us our experiences. So at the end of the day, to find out that I am a multi-dimensional being having this human experience and that this body is my avatar and that my spirit lives on, it's like music to my ears, And like I said, I'm just grateful to be here at this part of the awakening process to help waken the mass crowds out there. Whoever's still sleeping, it's time to wake up. The veil has been torn. There's nothing but receipts out there about how we've been lied to, about who Jesus was and all that good stuff. And I just recently, I mean, before, back in 2000, I was saying how Jesus had to have a family, I mean, how can you have royal blood, a royal bloodline and have no family? So I didn't connect the dots back then, but I did believe that him and Mary had kids. And so later on, finding out, continue to study to show myself approved, even though I'm homeless and going through stuff, I still continue to study to show myself approved, to rightly divide the word. And I finally came to this conclusion. I watched this guy on YouTube. I think his name is Martin Roderick, or Roderick Martin is his name. But he was sharing how his wife has the Rh negative blood and how the Rh negative blood is actually attached to uh, Jesus' royal bloodline. These are descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, from what I'm told. And there's receipts on there saying, that President Obama has the Rh negative blood. Brad Pitt, Bush Jr. has the Rh negative blood. Princess Di, J.F. Kennedy Jr., Marilyn Monroe. So there's a lot of people that have this Rh negative blood that's a part of Jesus and Mary's bloodline, which goes back to also that if he had a bloodline and they're the original royal bloodline, the Racharians, I think they call it, um, and I mean there was a fake one, a fake bloodline, which was, Queen Elizabeth and all them doing their things, the Catholic Church and all that. But at the end of the day, to find that their Rh negative is Jesus' bloodline, and this guy was talking about how his wife had to get a shot before she had a baby because the baby, could kill the host that's carrying it. So they had to give him a shot. But I also met another female, another girl. Hi Mary, and she has Rh negative blood, also her and her mom. And I'm like, wow, you guys are part of Jesus' descendants. You're part of this bloodline. But when I thought about it more, I'm like, okay, if this Rh negative is alien based, does that mean that Jesus was alien based also? I mean, duh. It's like some people, I mean, at some point, people, we have to connect the dots. Okay, like I said, there's receipts out there for a lot of this information that's coming forth. A lot of the religious groups are refusing to wake up. They're keeping their people in the dark. They're not allowing them or teaching them to quiet the mind and go within and meditate. You to tap into that oneness, that Christ conscious awareness, because we all one. There is no separation. Okay, there's no privilege. There's no one group of people that's going to enter in and the rest don't. Father God loves us all. There's only oneness. So when you love yourself, and forgive yourself. And that's a part of doing the work, quieting the mind, meditating, getting out to nature. But loving yourself, forgiving yourself, um, being of service to others, and letting go all negativity or drama or fear. Again, the scripture said we're not been given the spirit of fear. We get power, love, and a sound mind. So again, the temple of God is within. We must go within. Find a good meditation teacher. Find a metaphysical teacher that's teaching. There's so many greats out there. Michael B. Beckwood with Agape Church. I mean, he's on point. Again, the Braddock Martin guy, he's on point. Roderick Martin, he's on point. Billy Carson with his beautiful wife Elizabeth Carson. They are teaching with Forbidden Keys. I'm not Forbidden Keys. Forbidden Knowledge. I keep getting mixed up with 19 Keys, which is another guy totally. But again, these are people out there sharing their truths about who we are, what we are. Israel Perez, Cosmic Origin, Master Stephen Cole. He teaches also about healing and that we're not our bodies, our emotions, or our thoughts. And when we realize that we're not our body, our emotion, our thoughts, and make that shift, now we can start to grow and become one with our higher self. So it's just awesome to know that we are not alone. We're all on this journey together. Evolution does involve time, process, and lots of mistakes. I'm having my share of them, and I can allow others to have theirs. That's why I can be so happy and understanding and forgiving and have patience with others, because at the end of the day, talk about you, talk about me. And I first heard that back in the early late 89 with Lester Livingston, another master teacher, and he had to do a conference, and he was like, okay, what do I talk about? He said, well, talk about you, talk about me. There is no difference. He understood back then that there is no difference. We are all one, made in the image of Father God. So at the end of the day, take the time to love yourself. Take the time to be good to yourself. Take the time to be of service to others. Because at the end of the day, again, talk about you, talk about me. I do have um, I do have product out there on redbubble.com/BER DON Berdum11.com, where I have the hashtag We Are One hats, t-shirts, cups, phone cases, backpacks. So if you'd like to support me, because I am starting over, it'll be a great way for you to help me to start over. And I also have a children's book on Amazon.com. I'm learning with Prince J. Roy. I'm also working on the 3D version of that, where I was looking for investors to help me with that. Um, and that I would like to bring to the market also, along with the Amazon.com book paperback. I also have journals on there, notebooks, coloring books on there. Check it out on Amazon.com. Go on to Learning with Prince J. Royal, and you will find the rest of my books there, my coloring books. Again, this will help me to be a better person. This will help me to get back on my feet. Right now, I'm loving my new two-bedroom apartment. Thank you, State. HUD is helping me with that. But again, I did not start this process to end up on the state, and I'm loving the fact that I can rely on them at this time. But my goal is to get back on top, get back to my higher self, and to be able to be a blessing with my time and my resources to others, because I found a lot of pleasure in giving back. It's just so grateful to have the opportunity to know that I am blessed to be a blessing. I am not the victim. And the scripture says that the victory is mine and that the temple of God is within. I need not man or woman to teach me anything. The temple of God is within. So therefore, I suggest go within yourself, quiet your mind, light you a candle, stare at it for 20 minutes, let go all your stinking thinking, and if it comes up, just allow it to play out. Get it out your head. Picture yourself in front of a wall, a white wall, and just allow those thoughts to play out in front of you on the wall. You will see that you are not those thoughts. You are not that body or your emotions. So, again, take the time to love yourself. Take the time to do the shadow work, so that you can have ease and grace with this ascension process that is happening, and wake up to your higher self, because the beauty in it is that you will wake up to a whole new person. I mean, you got gifts, you got talents that you didn't even know you had that's laying dormant within you. And so while we're saying, Jesus, take the wheel, he's like saying, you got the wheel. You got the wheel simply because you got the power to change your life. He's just here to help us, as a co-creator, to show us and guide us to what we got to do. But he's not taking the wheel, and God doesn't have it, because why did he need it? I mean, he's infinite being, he's source creator. He's He's source energy. He's he's co-creating with us also. So again, take the time to love yourself. Take the time to get out in nature. Take the time to forgive those that have wronged you, even if it's your mother, your sister, or your brother, neighbor, spouse. It doesn't matter who they are. The whole thing, like Dolores Cannon, a metaphysical teacher, was saying, you have to forgive everything and everyone because there's no way to enter into the new earth, heaven here on earth, which is here now. But we have to create that reality of having that heaven here on earth. So it's up to us as individuals to help ourselves because there is no praying your way in without doing the shadow work. And the shadow work is all the drama that you have, all the fear, all the negativity, all the animosity towards another one, holding on to those things. You cannot enter into heaven like that because in heaven, nobody need that stuff. Just like you don't need food, you don't need to worry about cash or your money, you're bringing your gold up in there. That stuff is not needed. There's no homeless, there's no sickness or disease going on in heaven. So you have to clear your mind. You have to allow those thinking thoughts to just go and not be a part of who you want to be because at the end of the day, again, you are a super multidimensional being having this human experience. And if the kids are learning it at their level, and my grandkids are learning it, the cartoons are teaching them that they are they're super beings, that they got the superpowers. And so be like a kid, just go and learn, but you cannot learn. Hear me when I say you will not learn anything outside the Bible as long as you stay studying within the Bible. Okay? You cannot learn anything outside the Bible as long as you continue to study within the Bible. Okay? It's like you trying to taking my manual for my car, which is like 20 years old, okay, and applying it to something that's 2024. It's not gonna work, okay? Another thing is like when you go to school, we go to elementary school, they teach us ABCs and all that all the way up to the 12th grade. We're learning that. But when you go to college, it's a whole new game. It's a whole new teacher. They're giving you a syllabus and they're saying, do this, do this, do this. They're not holding your hand. And it's the same thing with our teachings and our learnings. That's what I call the first level of teachers and your second level teachers. Because the second level teachers are where you enter into who you really are and be all that you can be. But so therefore take the time to study. Get on YouTube. You're gonna find many people out there. Millions of people are waking up around the world. Millions. And a lot of stuff that's being said is like, what about my family that's not waking up? What about those that are not listening or don't want to hear this? Well, like Dolores kind of said, we all wrote contracts on the other side before we came here, and so we got contracts that we written, things that we say we're going to do. So at the end of the day, those contracts can be broken and we can change it. So again, it's up to us to take the time to really to study to show ourselves to prove to rightly divide the word. And that means you must get outside the Bible to learn. Because as long as I was in my Bible learning, going to church on a regular, being a part of all that, I was not getting this truth. I was not getting this truth at all. But once I stepped away from it, all this truth came because as a student, I was ready and the teacher showed up. And when the teacher showed up, I was ready, wanting, willing, and able to comprehend all that they were saying because the light bulb started to come on. And I got clarity, I got understanding, I started focusing, I started seeing things for what it really was. And therefore, now I'm not, just believing anything anymore. If they don't have any proof about it, any receipts, like I've been calling it, out there, then guess what? It's time to take it for checking. Always check out. Don't take my word for it. Take it for checking. But there's so much goodness out there, so much free information that you can tap into to help yourself to be a better person. Instead of waiting on God and praying on God to do it, we have the gifts, the talents, and the power within us to do these things. So please take the time to love yourself, take the time to forgive yourself, and take the time to question those that you are listening to. Ask them about what's going on. And if they say something that doesn't not resonate with you or minister to you, then let it go. Let it go. Don't beat them up. I'm tell you straight up. I got pretty upset when I realized that we had been lied to, and then I just laughed about it. And from there, I couldn't have what I got to do to be all me. And that's when I started learning. That's when I started growing. Now I'm becoming the version of Lily that I want to be. More than enough. I am worthy. I am able. I am willing. I have the courage to step forth. There is no fear. Thank you, thank you, thank you, universe, Mother Earth, Gaia, thank you. There's help available. There's people willing to help you. Take the time to study. Get outside the word because you're not going to grow within the word. And right now, there's a war going on, and it's all about the dark side and the light side. And just because you say you're in the light doesn't mean that you're in the light. Because some people can say they're in the light, put on that title, I'm a Christian, I'm a Baptist, and before they leave the parking lot, they're going to snatch that title off. They being whoever they want to be. Cut them off in the parking lot if you want to. They might give you the bird or something like that. So, again, at the end of the day, take the time to study outside the word, outside, because that's where you're going to get it. And I'm so grateful that I did because now I have insight, I have wisdom, my belief system have changed, and I've checked the receipts on all that's being said, and I'm available to help anybody that wants to have insight or looking for direction to get where they got to go. You can just email me, Lily, at practices with an S with ease and grace at gmail.com. I'll be glad to help you to help to awaken to your higher self with ease and grace because with this ascension process, there can be some symptoms that can be happening like headaches or your ear ringing or chest palpitations because a lot of stuff is going on in Mother Earth. Solar flashes are happening. People are waking up at a really alarming rates because they're getting it. It's resonating with them. So again, I love you. I'm available. Practices with an S, PracticesWithEasEandgrace at gmail.com. Thank you again for watching. I'm so, so grateful to share my story because, again, I have been through some things, but I've learned from it. I just want to say to the next person if you're out there, you're homeless, you don't know what to do, just have faith in yourself, have courage to get up every day, to move forward. Find some meditation that you can do that will help quiet your mind, help you to lead you to who you really are, and be all that you can be because you are a multi-dimensional being having this human experience. You are more than what you are told you are. You are a blessing. You are one with me. We are one with all. There's only oneness. We are all still growing. So please have patience with one another because evolution does involve time, process, and lots of mistakes. So if I'm having my share, I know you're having yours, but it is okay. The whole thing is recognizing that what's going on. And if you find yourself thinking negative thoughts, do your best to change it to a positive thought because positivity, loving yourself, happy, raising your frequency, like Ralph Smart says with Infinite Waters, it's going to help you to enter into that new earth where other people are already there and are waiting. So, again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Again, I'm so grateful for my two subscribers that's just checking it out. But please, you to share it with others, especially your family, friends, and your loved ones, because at the end of the day, um, that's what Jesus wanted. He said he was not going to enter into God's rest until everyone was there. So he's here helping everyone. But the most thing you need to do is help yourself because there is no Savior outside of yourself that's going to save you. Like Billy Carson says, there is no Savior outside of yourself that's going to save you. You must save yourself. And if you go back and look at history and you tell yourself, okay, did Jesus save those two on the cross with him? They once they confess their sin, did they get off the cross and go back to their families? I don't think so. Okay. But again, going back to Jesus again, 33 died on the cross. Okay, at 33 he died on the cross. Well, where does the royal bloodline come into play? Common sense, which means he couldn't have died on the cross at 33, and he must have had a family out there, as I said prior to. It's all good. Take the time to study. There's receipts out there. You'll be glad you did. I love you. Thanks again for tuning in. Check out my products on Amazon.com. Check out my products on Redbubble.com. I'm grateful for your time and taking the time to watch this video. I love everyone. Have a great day. Thank you again. Bye bye.